when did gas become such a dirty word? Because for a long time we spoke about gas as the best possible transition fuel. Is that not the case anymore? Because we know that renewables aren't there just yet. They will be. I fully believe that. When, I don't know. Perhaps in the next decade. But at the moment, gas is the best transition fuel we've got, isn't it?
Look, I guess it depends what you want. For us, we've...
Not individuals. For the entire East Coast market, if you look at it en masse.
So if you're talking about the environment, most of the environmental reports that come out, and certainly from the International Energy Agency, say that gas is no longer a transition fuel.
Why not?
It absolutely was, but we need to get off fossil fuels much faster than that.
What's the transition fuel if it's not gas?
It's simply moving as quickly to renewable energy as possible.
Right, okay. But Stefan, what does my head in about this in the middle of a cost of living crisis is that politicians pretend there is no cost to doing this and the reliability is the same. And those two things are not true, are they?
So, no, I think absolutely. But I think for an individual, for cost of energy, it is cheaper. If you build a new home, it will save that consumer money if they go all electric from day one.
Sure, but the poorest people aren't building the new homes, are they? So when you need to look after the most vulnerable in society, they're the ones taking the hit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important that anything we do as we transition inevitably from a fossil fuel-based electric and energy system to a renewable one is to look after them.
Yeah.
And I think that is a real challenge, and I think most governments have struggled with that challenge, frankly.
Yeah, they have. They certainly have.
Yeah.
I think it's evidence by the way we are governed at the moment, both at state and federal level, and you can go to previous governments as well. But when we talk about the electricity market, electric stoves, for example, being cleaner, how can that be true right now when renewables aren't dominant in the system? I think Victoria still relies 60% on brown coal. So if you're using electricity, you're still using coal-fired power, are you not?
Yeah, look, and it depends on the individual household. So, there are many of our customers use almost nothing from the grid because they have solar on their roof.
Isn't that a problem as well? Because once people are removed from the grid, long term, those individuals can afford to and they're better off. But removing yourself from the grid makes it more expensive for everyone else, doesn't it? So there's
surprisingly not.
Really?
So we know that the only thing that has put downward pressure on electricity prices over the last 2 years has been rooftop solar.
Okay.
And it's doing it because it's putting more supply into the market and supply and demand on our wholesale market.
Because that's reversing back into the grid.
Correct.
Right.
Now, if everybody disconnected from the grid, we have what's called a death spiral, and then everybody loses.
That sounds bad.
It's terrible. It's terrible for the people who have disconnected from the grid because at those times they can't share their energy with their neighbours.
Sure.
And when they need extra energy because they're having a big party and they're running the spa 24/7,
Yep.
they can't draw energy from their neighbours.
Yeah, we're not exactly talking about the poorest people here, and that's who I'm worried about. I'm worried about for the pensioners who cannot pay their electricity bills. I just got an email from one of our viewers saying that his quarterly bill has gone up $400. The usage is exactly the same. Is it true to say that gas is still around 50% cleaner than coal?
Yeah, in general, I think that's correct. I think one of the interesting things is we know is that do you know who the highest group who've taken up rooftop solar is?
Retirees.
Retirees. So pensioners do really well. The people who
Retirees aren't necessarily pensioners, by the way.
That's very true. That's very true. But again, among pensioners, very high take-up because they can see the benefits. The people who have missed out are those who are renters and those who are really struggling. So if you don't own your own home, generally, you've missed out. And I agree with you. That's something, that's the government's job to make that equitable for everyone.
All right. Well, Stefan, good to talk to you. This is a red hot topic and we'll get a lot of feedback from this chat, so thank you.